Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm here with Sylvia,
Hello.
Raul,
Howdy, howdy.
and Mad Max himself, Ramon.
Oh, I was going more for the other dudes, like Whitney,
The war boy.
the War
War
Boys.
Boy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
So hopefully you get it by the hints, but we're here to talk about Furiosa. And it's a movie that I enjoyed, but I guess in the box office, it's not doing so hot. So hopefully we get to have a little conversation about why that's happening, because everybody that has seen this movie, it's a little bit upset about that because everybody loves this movie. Nothing but praise. I've seen nothing negative.
That
So it's just
you
kinda-
know of.
that I know of, or at least the community that I'm part of is, that's the Discord that's been happening. Is this movie so good? Why is there nobody going to see it? But before we get to Furiosa, what have you guys been doing? How was your weekends, Raul? How's everything going?
I think it's funny that you keep pronouncing it in Spanish.
It has that thing where even when I saw the movie, how would you say it?
It's Furiosa still.
Yeah, it's
no,
like
no.
yeah.
No,
I'm
just-
saying Furiosa. I don't have an accent with it.
It's funny because technically, if we're going, with the meaning of it, it's like what, like she's mad.
Yeah.
Furious. Yeah.
Furiosa.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, pretty much all their names are kind of something else. Yeah, my weekend was interesting. Went to a wedding on Saturday. Saw Ramon
We danced
Mm.
and
together.
his family because
Yes.
apparently his cousin was the bride, and I was there for the group. So
Oh,
small world.
nice.
It's a
Does that
grand
mean
old
you guys
time.
are related now in some way?
And any more way than we already are. It's
Yeah.
just through
We were
mutual
almost
connections
even
and
more
stuff.
related because my cousin dated his sister at one point.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's-
got
yeah.
very Mad Max name. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. So that would have been cool.
I mean, other than the movie, did you get to? Have you been watching anything?
I saw the last Mad Max before this, and then I don't know. I've been watching Overlord and everything else. I've continued to watch. I don't think I started watching anything. You know what? I resaw yesterday, and I forgot how much I liked it. And it's pretty much a world where something happens and the whole world forgets like about the Beatles. Like the Beatles never existed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know what you're
Except
talking
for
about.
that one
Yeah.
guy that he was a singer, like songwriter, but
Yeah.
pretty crappy. And then he wrote all these songs that it was the Beatles songs, and then he got famous. But
It's on
yeah,
Disney Plus, or where did you see it?
it's might have been on Max or Netflix. I
Okay.
don't remember.
Recommended or not?
I like it. I'm a big Beatles fan, so
Yeah, I mean, you gave
So
us the
I liked
whole Lucy song on the last episode, so I believe you.
yeah. And
Lucy
right
was-
before that movie, I saw the Atlas one with J-Lo.
Oh, how was that? 'Cause
I was gonna say
started that 4
Ramon more
times.
than likely saw that movie, but I
Almost.
guess not.
I substituted
It's-
another bad one, which I'll talk about.
So, J-Lo is not good.
Not good.
I like the premise. I like the idea. There's a lot of cool parts to it, but it's not really that good. And J-Lo's really not good at all. It's sad to
Here's
say.
a little.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
it's cool. It's a cool story. It's a cool premise.
I mean,
and the graphics are pretty cool, and some of the things are cool, but it's mediocre at best.
I mean, I love giant robots, and I still haven't gotten a chance to check it out. But I think I will see it, man. Like, I don't care how bad the reviews are. Like, my curiosity is peak just because I want to know what the hell's going on. But maybe I'll find more enjoyment than you did with it.
And it's free to
Yeah,
watch, so
maybe.
it always makes it easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not a great movie.
Okay.
It came out around the same time the documentary did, though, right? That she had coming out.
Although,
I think that because I keep mixing the two together. I keep mixing her documentary with this movie, and I don't know what's what anymore.
It's
The movie just came out this weekend, so it
Yeah.
came out on Friday. I
Oh, so the documentary came out first.
think. Yeah, that
Okay.
documentary came out first.
because the documentary, I think I've seen a lot of people make fun of her on TikTok. The whole like this idea of like she's from the Bronx and everybody from the Bronx like get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Nobody likes you.
The orange drink. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, Ramon, you're anxious to go. What have you been doing, man?
I mean, well, like I said, I substituted one bad movie for another. I finally gave in and I watched Madam Web, which oh my goodness,
Dude.
no, I don't know where you guys got the little bit of like positivity when you were talking about
Dude, I
it.
did.
Dude,
Like no. I mean, yeah. Of course
Sylvia,
it's
you should see Madam Web, honestly.
You know what? I'm writing it down. I'll watch it.
It's not a great movie at
It's
all.
not a good movie.
She's not gonna show
That
up to
list
the
was a
next
better
recording.
movie than Madam Web.
She's not gonna show up for the next
Really?
recording because she's gonna be like, "You guys made me just tortured me." No, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't find like very little positive stuff because for me, it's still like the perspective of like, come on, like all the actresses, especially what's her name, Dakota,
Mhm.
has just
Johnson, yeah.
done better. Like she just didn't seem like she was into
Hater.
the role.
Yes.
She did not.
Like,
care
that's
to
why I
be in
loved
the
it.
movie. But like
what I
you know
love.
that makes you so frustrated when you know there's people out there that love the source material, that
I know.
freaking love Spider-Man, that love like comics in general, and you could just tell she was so disinterested. Just her dad in general was the only thing that kind of really turned me off. But I mean, the movie had at least some cool connections to Spider-Man and Peter Parker and all that good stuff. Like that was what was
The
fun
spider
to watch.
people
No.
and the magic.
Yeah, the magic
That Anyas.
spiders, that Anyas, and all that good stuff. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, it definitely falls in line with Morbius and all the other like
Yes.
stupid wastes of time.
No, I think Morbius was a better movie than this, though.
Yeah, you know what? At least a little bit more exciting because at
Yeah.
least this I did not like that we were essentially she was just trying to keep him away from the bad guy the whole time, and that's literally all that happened. And it wasn't like anything like I don't know. It's just it wasn't cohesive. Nothing really kind of happened. It was just following her around, trying to like be
Dude.
mad at her mom for dying. Like what the fuck?
Dude, I'd rather see Madam Web 10 more times than see Morbius ever again. So I fall like more on the Madam Web side. Sylvia, Rose sent me this TikTok earlier today where there's a scene in the movie where she drops off these high schoolers in a forest area and she tells them like, I need you to stay here for a couple of days. I'm going back to New York, goes to Peru, comes back, and she expects them to still be in that forest where she dropped them off.
No, she dropped them off with Ben.
Yeah, it was different.
Oh,
but
yeah,
still.
with Ben.
But she leaves the storyline for a week. For a week, the movie just pauses. So like this bad guy that was gonna like he was always like a step behind getting these girls, and then all of a sudden movies pause for a
Because
week.
you can see the future.
Well, I mean, but come on, what made him stop for a week?
Yeah,
It was enough time for her to be like,
He
hey,
couldn't
guys,
find them, and of course he's not going to make the connection that her coworker that she works with every single day could be the one that has all three girls, which have pretty much no parents.
It was terrible.
No, I think you need to watch it. It's free on Netflix, and it's just such a terrible movie that I really wonder where you fall on it.
I'm going to watch that and Atlas, and then do a comparison of which one's better.
Oh,
we should talk about which
no,
one's
that
worse
sounds like
next.
bad weekend if you're trying to watch those
I think
two.
Atlas is a better movie, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure which is more entertaining because I found Madam Web really entertaining, even though it's a bad movie.
Dang.
Yeah. Oh, that's
All
funny.
right, I'm gonna come back next week with my comments on those two and let you know which one is above the other.
Sylvia, I'm hoping that you're gonna tell us that you've been watching Game of Thrones still, because I sort
Yes.
of want to ask you things about it, and I'm also considering maybe doing a segment where we just catch up on you on your Game of Thrones, like where you are, and just talk about it.
So honestly, I hadn't had the time to be able to watch it fully. I watched half of another episode right now. I'm not far at all. I'm already upset that he killed the dire wolf, so that's already like my
yeah.
like
Sasha,
hold on.
Sasha's
Yeah.
direwolf, yeah.
So that's kind of the area that I'm at right now, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be a show I don't like old timely shows, which I guess doesn't make sense because what I did this week was finish up Bridgerton, so that's that. But I think they're finally starting to grow on me. I'm thoroughly enjoying Game of Thrones, though. I do kind of have an itch at work to watch it, although I can't, so that I'm waiting to come home from work and watch it. I just haven't had the time this week, but I'm excited to see it. Once I get past my little hump of, them killing off the dire howl,
Have you been spoiled to anything? Like, do you know who sits on the Iron Throne by the end of the no? Do you have any ideas at all?
No
like,
clue.
If you had to make like a random guess right now, based on all the kids, the people in play, like who do you think is going to be the winner at the end of the show?
Right now, I feel like it has to be. His name's Jon Stark, right? Like the bastard son of. It seems like it would have to be him, right? Because he's the only. Yeah, because he's the one that's
doesn't
I mean,
want it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're showing him a lot, and they keep
Okay.
repeating like, "You're the bastard son." You're like, it just seems like they're making it up to be him, right?
No,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean,
sure.
Johnson's one of the
Maybe.
best ones. Like, you know, like I was a
He's
little
definitely a
disappointed.
favorite of a lot of people.
Of course,
Okay.
yep.
It's the reason why I watched the show, Kit.
So Kit
Yeah, him
Harington.
and
Dude, yes.
Daenerys, honestly,
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, it's a good show, and obviously, if you know a little bit of the story, as it kind of goes longer, there's just a lot of cool stuff to see. But I don't know, yeah, like you said, Jon Snow is clearly going to be one of those
Where's
people
his
you
wolf
will
though? I've seen the other dire wolves,
Ghost,
but I
Ghost
haven't.
is just
You
he's
will.
like he's always around. Like you know, because of budget
Oh.
reasons, they don't always have him on displays, but he's always around. He's a good boy.
Oh.
They're really expensive to CGI.
And I guess compared to the books, I hear like in the books they're more like involved, like the dire
Mhm.
wolves, and then in the show, like I'm just gonna tell you now, you don't see them like all the time.
Okay, because I feel
It's
like
like,
I've
oh,
seen
yeah.
every kid's like dog except for his, and I'm waiting to see it, or maybe I missed it. It was just a blink of an eye, and he was
Yeah.
gone.
You'll see him plenty throughout
Okay.
the show. So
And it's funny
Okay.
because I think there's always been complaints about where's Ghost. So
yeah,
it's funny hearing
that's
it
his
from you.
name. I forgot.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, again, we'll have to like follow up with you on it. You know, House of Dragon season 2 is coming up. I'm surprised you didn't kind of start with that one because that one's sort of fresh. You can kind of get on the train right now because the second season's about to come out.
Should I add that to my list here? I'm going down the list of what I need to watch.
Well, it's
I feel from, like-
before, yeah.
Yeah, I would say House of Dragon is definitely the one that you want to catch up because when he comes back, that's what everybody's going to be talking about.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's set before Game of Thrones events, so you're not gonna
Yeah.
be like
Spoiled
to
to
anything
anything.
really. There's a lot of foreshadowing, but you will know what the foreshadowing is.
Yeah.
So then
No.
for therefore
No.
it's gonna be like Furiosa. Like you watch
Which
Furiosa.
again, didn't
Yeah.
watch any other film except for this one, so I only know
That
what
was-
I've seen in this film.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. We'll explain why.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, with me, I mean, I'm not going to go through everything. I mean, I've been watching Demon Slayer and
Oh yes.
again,
Oh,
this
yeah.
training arc.
Finally.
Oh, well, this training arc has just kind of been funny just because, you know, the last episode, they had a lot of Tengen and it's just, you know, I love Tengen, so I'm not going to complain about the episode where I get a lot of Tengen in it, which is one of the most handsome ninja men that you will ever see in your life, Sylvia, in anime. So he has
Better
three
than
wives.
Itachi? Okay.
I mean, for different reasons,
Kind of.
maybe.
Kinda.
He's not the dark and mysterious type.
Oh.
No, he's the
He's the
flashy.
flamboyant, flashy,
Mm.
Flashy.
three wife having type.
Little muscular mouse following him around. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Carlos, you're not enjoying all the shirtless Tanjiro? 'Cause that's
Oh my
literally-
God.
All the third episode was shirtless Tanjiro the whole freaking
The
time.
main guy, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's I don't know. It's
but-
weird to watch now because I'm like, oh no, Tanjiro, what they do to you? Now I got to stare at you shirtless.
No.
Dude, it's kind of the same thing as Deku in My Hero because he's
Yeah.
super swole now too.
But not as
yeah.
Tanjiro. Tanjiro's more for sure.
Oh yeah,
That guy is ripped.
Yeah.
yeah.
I finished that show on Prime, Ramon, Outer Range. Is that what it's called?
Oh, how was
yeah.
the season? Because I still haven't advanced. on it.
I won't spoil it to you. I definitely want to have a conversation with you once you hopefully have watched it. But the one that I really wanted to highlight that I saw this weekend on Amazon Prime is the movie Pearl.
Oh, I
thought
thought
it
it
was-
seen it.
I thought Pearl it's a horror movie. It's sort of the sequel
It's a prequel to X,
X.
right?
It's a
Yeah.
prequel to X. And then the third one in the trilogy is coming out in July, which I'm really excited for now. But Pearl was so perfect because it starts in a way where it's almost gives you that Disney vibes. Like, this is a princess. She's like dancing with the farm animals and singing and trying to be happy and just thinks about living outside the farm. But it's just that's not the movie you get by the end. And I just thought it was so good. And if you want to get an idea of what's the next Superman actor's gonna kind of bring to the table, like this movie has him. So it was really
he's in
cool he's in it. So it was kind of cool to see that actor in something finally, because I don't really recognize him from anything else. So I
Sure.
highly, highly recommend Pearl.
It's a
Should
weird.
I watch
weird
that
movie.
before X or X first?
No. watch
probably
X first.
X
Because
first.
I like the you'll see it, but I like the surprise of what the one character in one movie is. Well, Pearl.
Oh, okay.
You almost got to witness X first because
Okay, I'll do it.
Pearl's so
I'll
much
watch X.
better and so much weirder. And
I'll watch it this weekend.
I was so shocked how much I ended up enjoying Pearl.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
so
just having
good.
such a blast with it. Yeah.
it might be one of those that Sylvia or anyone else that watches like, what the hell are these guys into? This is like weird. Like
Is
it's
it
probably
horror?
one of the.
It's horror, yeah.
We'll call it.
I do like
horror.
horror. See,
know.
I'm writing
We'll call
everything
it
down
horror.
today, so I have it all. Next time you guys see me, I'll be like, all right, listen, I watched everything you mentioned.
Oh, God.
Here are my thoughts.
I did
We're not
nothing.
asking your job. We're not asking you to quit
No,
your job.
we're not asking any of
Sadie.
that. No.
Feel like me. Don't sleep. It's all right.
I ignored my family and friends, and
Yeah, just watch movies and shows all day long.
I wish that was the reality.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, let's start talking about the movie. Since Sylvia, you went last on what we were doing, maybe you want to start us off with this movie. Like, what did you think about it? I mean, first impressions.
So,
and also your history with Mad Max.
so this is my first Mad Max movie I have ever watched. And I'm going to be honest, I thought I could stream this. So yesterday I was like, oh, I'll stream the movie. It's no big deal. And then I started panicking because I realized I can't stream it. So I had to grab one of my friends and I was like, we're watching a movie right now. It's like 5:00. This movie's at 6. We're going there. I'm going to meet you at 6. We're going to be in that movie. So I kind of rushed to watch it because I realized I couldn't stream it. But from what I saw, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really liked it. I haven't seen anything negative about it either. I'll be honest, when I started watching it, it took me about 45 minutes in the movie to realize it was Chris Hemsworth. I had no clue it was him. We were watching it and then just like 45 minutes in, I finally go, wait, is that Chris? And then my friend looks at me like, seriously? You didn't realize from the first time he turned around? I keep comparing him with his brother Liam Hemsworth because I think I've seen more of him in movies versus Chris. And Chris, I've seen more of like the Thor side of him. So more of like that hero that he usually plays. And then seeing him on a completely opposite role, it did not settle in my brain until 45 minutes in the movie. I'm sitting there thinking, wait, is that Chris Hemsworth? So I think he did a phenomenal job, as did Anne. I think she's really good in any movie that she plays. I liked the imagery that they always had with the cape that he wore, because he started off with a white cape, it went red, and then it went black, and the whole time I was seeing his character development. So I loved seeing that portion of it. Once it turned red, you could see he was more bloodthirsty, and then once that cape kind of turned black, you saw that he was kind of at his end, and it was kind of foreshadowing his death with whatever happens. But again, I found this out later after the movie. I thought that they cast the younger Furiosa and the older one perfectly until I realized the AI generated the face of the younger girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no clue. Yeah. To make it a little bit more similar to Anne, so that way it was just a little bit more in unison. But I think it worked really well. It seamlessly went throughout to where I didn't even know when Anne started acting until, again, afterward. Maybe I'm just bad with faces, though. That could be it. But no, I really liked it. It was one of the better movies that I think I've watched. I would give it like an 8 or a 9.
Nice.
By any chance, have you seen? Well, I mean, after you saw that movie, did you go and look for the one that's because this is technically a prequel to the one that came out in 2014 or 15?
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, Mad Max Fury Road. Have you seen that, or will you want to see that? Okay,
I would see it. Yeah, I would. After this movie, I want to see the rest of the series. I would feel like it definitely opened some doors for me.
Add it to your list, because as this one's fresh, once you start watching the other one, it's gonna connect everything right away. So it's a beautiful, like, it just picks up where this one left off. So
yeah, I watched it with my wife and my sister-in-law, and as soon as we got home, I started watching Fury Road, so my sister-in-law can kind of have an idea of like what this movie's kind of sort of based on. And yeah, it's just like where that one ends, the next one picks up, and it's just
gotcha.
In my opinion, as much as I like this movie, I still think Fury Road's probably the stronger movie. But yeah, this one was a blast for sure.
So I've seen Fury Road before, obviously, and then I rewatched it on Tuesday because I also kind of yesterday panicked. Messaged David and Jose of like, hey, can you guys go to the movies? After I'd messaged Ramon if he wanted to go yesterday, but
I'm sorry.
No, I know. Yeah, but Jose went to see it with me actually at like 8:15 yesterday. But I'll kind of have a little bit of a weird take. So Fear Road, I completely understand why people talk about it so like greatly. but like I liked it, but I don't think that it's that great. I love the world. I love how it looks. I love the like all the shots that they do and all of that. But and I love the acting too. But it's a good movie. But I feel like everyone talks it up a lot more than I think it is.
Yeah.
With this one, I think I enjoyed it more than Fury Road, even though the CGI in parts of this one was a little lacking. Yeah, especially when Dementos was attacking the Citadel. And with the hooks, picking up all the things, that was bad. I was like, "Oh no, did they run out of time or run out of money?" But yeah. So parts of it was bad. But like, I thought Chris Hemsworth was awesome. Anya Taylor-Joy was awesome. And I loved a lot of the shots that they did and a lot of the cool things that they did with the colors and stuff like that too. So I think I enjoyed this one, the story of this one, a little bit more than Fury Road.
What's it called? This one didn't have Nicholas Hoult though as a war boy, so it's just
I did like Nicholas Hoult.
You know, I will say there's a scene in once you see Fury Road, Sylvia, there's a scene where they go into a storm, and you know when I saw it in the movie theater, that shit was cool. Awesome. That was one of the most epic things that I've ever seen in my life in the movie theater experience. And then when I rewatched it after coming home and saw that scene, I still got the same feeling. So it's just like, how can something that I already saw years ago on a big IMAX screen still give me that same feeling seeing it at home? You know, I have a big TV, but it's not that glorious for me to get the same feelings. Nothing in Furiosa gave me that feeling of being like, oh my God, like this is cinema. This is something that I'll never forget. Where in Fury Road, that shot alone makes the whole movie for me. So it's just kind of hard for me to say that this is a better movie, where just Fury Road gives me those feelings that, I just feel like I've never saw something like it at the time.
So I kind of wonder if that impacts my view of Fury Road, because I never saw it in theaters. I saw it when it came out on Max.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I don't know, it's fun because I did the same thing too. Well, first I went to see Furiosa with my buddy JD Loaf. And he's never seen any of the Mad Max movies, and it was just kind of the same thing too. I'm like, we were hanging out. I'm like, dude, let's go watch this movie. He's like, done. Same thing, big giant screen, beautiful movie to watch. But before I even get into how I felt about Furiosa, this is him. Finished the movie, freaking hyped. He's like, let's go home. Let's go watch the other one. Like, I just don't care. So we literally, because we're hanging out all day, got home, ordered some pizza, and then we just watched Fury Road. And then, like, I think that connection of watching them together is kind of like a little bit more of what's fun for like you once you actually watch the other one. So to talk about, like, I knew we were going to talk about the topic of which one's better. I think when I watched Fury Road, I knew I was missing something. Like, but I already seen the Mad Max with Mel Gibson, like all three of those movies. I was very familiar with the world. So to me, that wasn't like new. I wasn't lost. But I definitely, with the Furiosa character and Mad Max Fury Road, I definitely felt like something was missing. And this movie gave it to you, because like that's exactly what you wanted to know. You wanted to know more about Furiosa, why she was so badass in the first movie. Then just, obviously, like an origin story is always like great, because it compels you, like it engages you from the beginning, and you have like a beginning point to a story to follow. Fury Road's a little harder because it just throws you in the freaking middle of it, and you're like, wait, what? How did we even get here? We're just chasing around people in cars. But I love Furiosa. I still can't decide. I think Fury Road for me was more impactful. Fury Road had me like super engaged from like the first second that movie started. Furiosa, to me, like the whole beginning was kind of like slow, just because they were just telling the story of her and her kind of paradise society, that utopian society they had. And again, great to see as the origin story. But I think because I already knew some of the world going on, I was so anxious to see when she was going to meet up with Dementus, when she was going to meet up with freaking John, like all of them. But I don't know, it's still really fun, beautiful to watch, and badass Anya. So
I think for me it helped that I had just seen Fury Road the day prior. That helped me with
I feel like you saw it back. You should have waited to see that one and then just Did you guys find it funny that some of the characters in Fury Road were actually like introducing this new one, like the medic? Like I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like
the
medic's always the doctor medic. Yeah, so I think if you watch it, Sylvia, you'll definitely get more of a connection, because you're watching both of them like it's like almost watching three seasons.
Order.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's in order.
It was like the old Star Wars. You watched it in the middle instead of going to the... Yeah.
Except for this is a little bit better put together than two trilogies. Like, nope.
With the same director.
Ramon, it's funny because I think this is going to be the 3rd or 4th episode where we mention the same movie, Anyone But You with Sweeney Todd. But the one actress from that movie,
Sweeney?
Well, no, not her. The one actress that the guy's trying to win back.
Yes,
she's Furiosa's mom. So I was really impressed with her acting because if you see that movie, Anyone But You, if that's what it's called, right? Anyone But You.
I think so, man. I already wiped that in my memory, but yes.
Yeah.
She's in that other movie, in the rom-com.
Yeah, in the rom-com, and she's really forgettable. She's just there to look pretty, and it's like, oh, I want to win her back, and you totally like.
Oh, I know. Okay, now I have the connection.
That's the ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
It was her.
It was her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because I'm like, now from seeing her in this movie, like I totally just have a different like way of looking at her.
She's a good actress. Yeah,
she's a good actress, but then the other movie didn't make me think she was a good actress. So
that movie made no one look like a God.
No.
I was like, God. Sorry, Carlos.
I like that.
I didn't say no.
Hey, I didn't pay for it. I saw it on Netflix. So
see, that's all the bad movies. Just watch them on Netflix.
Yeah.
But
she's good, writing it down. Watch bad movies on Netflix.
You can just rehear this episode.
Ramon said, "Start quoting you guys."
No, I'm watching Black. What is it called? Married at First Sight. That's my bad Netflix right now.
Oh,
yeah.
It's not for real stuff.
Honestly, like Chris Hemsworth was awesome in this movie, and I have really negative things to say, but when I was listening to him, part of me did wish I was watching this with subtitles because sometimes I just couldn't understand what he was saying.
He reminded me of from Sonic that my God, what's
Jim
the
Carrey?
evil
Eggman?
Eggman. Yeah, he reminded me of the cartoon Eggman in certain parts, just like the red, like the mustache and everything.
Yeah.
I think this character for him is probably one of his most complex ones, right? Like it's pretty deep. Like, so you said it perfectly. Like, you had symbolism that kind of showed his like progression, or I guess his like fall apart. But like, I mean, that was a whole draw to his character, that this is a guy that probably existed in the beginning of like the Fallout, right? Because it seems like it's within the reach, like the near future. So it's like Australia, this war or whatever happened must have just happened like 20, 30 years ago for him, because he's talking about, losing his family and, like, I don't know. It just seemed like he's more connected than anyone else that we've met so far, as far as like a character that we're following along. And then, yes, like you see him become more of like, I am the Messiah, or kind of like a savior type of figure. Like in the beginning, that's him, right? Like white cowl and everything, and he's just parading as like this great leader. But I do love that as he's kind of gaining more territory and more things, he's just falling apart little by little, because he was good about like bullshitting it and saying like, hey, I'm like this great leader, but then all of a sudden he sucks in managing. And and then ultimately he's just freaking like, I don't know, it's just he goes through a great like great character.
No,
it's kind of like he's good at campaigning, but he's bad at managing.
Actually doing
exactly, and it's so crazy.
Sucks at his job.
That's the kind of that's the kind of bad leader that I would hate for people to follow, because like he was like, why wouldn't you follow him? But then
very charismatic.
To your point, like everything's falling apart, even though at the end he sort of kind of had a great plan.
But that was like at the end though, after he and the way that he was gonna go about it was to let other things go to shit. So it was he was being very destructive at the end, but I liked it. And he almost forgot about his like mission.
You know what? That's one of my things. Was Gastown at the end really going through those problems, or was this all an act to make him believe? I
think he was losing it.
I don't know. Well, part of me also feels like, because obviously he had a plan, like make it seem like I'm losing control, make it seem like, I can blow this place up at any time. And then it causes other people to say like, hey, we got to like just get him out of there. I think it's sort of all part of the plan. I do believe that they were running low on probably supplies and he was running the whole place to the ground. But I don't feel at that point at the end, that could have just been an act, man. That could have been just him saying like, this is what we're going to do. And obviously people are going to be eager to continue to support the guy. But I feel like at the end, that sort of, to me, was just something that he told the people, like, hey, act this way. But it wasn't really because they were actually revolting against him.
See, I didn't see that because I was watching the crowds as good as I could because of that reason. I mean, the people were, like, not his people, like, originally, right? and
Yeah.
it's like not at least not the
Oh
servants, not the
yeah,
people running the
a lot of
place.
them weren't his people. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's who I saw during those scenes to be more distressed is the workers, not his like bikers, like part of his gang. So then to me that just kind of seemed like that, like they were probably happier with old management, and this guy comes in and they're like, you know what, no, we don't like the way you're doing this, and I don't know, like, but I mean, yeah, like the scene where he's eventually like leads them out of like the freaking gas town, like that kind of seemed kind of weird because he's avoiding them, no one's hitting him, and then he just kind of leads them off to safety with this like great plan to like get them to draw back and get the rest of the people to meet with them. But yes, I can see how you saw that, but I don't know. It seems like he was losing it. Yeah.
Even the guy with the horns, I mean, he left them because obviously he wasn't happy with what was happening, and that was one of the coolest scenes with that guy.
Yeah.
I agree. I like it.
What did you guys like about the whole beginning? Like, I mean, I know for Carlos and Raul that you guys saw Fury Road, but like, even for you, Sylvia, like, did you like the idea there was a place that was more utopian?
The green place.
It did have the green place because we've seen it in the Citadel, but that wasn't anything as impressive as this thing. Because this thing had windmills, they had like a freaking whole society going for it.
Yeah, electricity.
Yeah, it's always nice to see when like some people are actually making it, and then you see with the rest of the world, or at least the rest of Australia, like all the dudes obsessed with cars and gas, and they're just, I don't know. That's really close to realism.
I feel like they waste gasoline so much. But sorry, go back to his questions. Sorry, so maybe you want to answer his question.
And honestly, I got confused at a little part of it. Once they killed the mom of Furiosa, they ended up wearing the jackets of the people that were in the Utopia, right? Like they found them. Am I incorrect in that?
I don't think they ever found them.
I don't think they found them, yeah.
Yeah, they never did.
Because the next scene, I feel like they were wearing like blue jackets, kind of like how the other people in the Utopia were wearing. So I was seeing that and I was thinking it, but I might be completely off. I will say though, to answer your question, in the beginning, I did like seeing that, and I liked seeing that they were using horses instead of, those cars and wasting all of the gas and everything. Yes. But I didn't like how long she was a child in the start of the movie.
Oh, okay.
It kind of made it drag on for me, where I didn't even see the other movies afterwards, but just that beginning of her being a kid for so long, I was kind of like, all right, let's get to the action part. It was just a little bit too long when it came to that.
I felt the same way. I was like, are we gonna see Anya?
Anna?
Yeah. Is she ever gonna get to be a? But it's funny. I don't know if you guys knew this, but she only has like 30 lines in the whole movie.
It's crazy.
Well, yeah, she doesn't talk. Yeah,
she doesn't talk at all. So
yeah. I don't know. I mean, mute. I definitely. Well, it was a nose. It was a silent, almost silence that she was doing, and then most of the time she had the like freaking peach pit on her mouth, so that kind of helped her not talk. But no, I did. Yeah, I was also annoyed by how long she was like a kid. But I was curious because again, once you've seen the other movie, you always have this mystery about who Furiosa is, and I think part of it, like, I mean, again, I don't think we needed that long of a story to like tell that bit. But for me, it's always entertaining to see exactly how a perfect kid or a kid from this perfect society ends up winning like the attention of like these bad dudes. And even though like towards the end you actually find out that she goes more into like hiding, because then they lose track of her and she ends up being one of like the crew of Immortan Joe, and that was kind of nice to know because like I didn't know how she ever got away with doing all that, so that worked out.
No, yeah. Is that you, bro?
Yeah, I'm crying about everything that Ramon just said, because I liked her being a kid for so long because I wanted her to hold on to her youth. No, I totally get that whole thing about her being a kid too long. I agree and disagree. I do think it was a little too long for parts of when she was a kid, certain scenes, and then I think that they went too far into it. But I liked the fact that they kind of showed like her progress, because she didn't talk at all when she was with what's her name, Chris Hemsworth. Dementus. Yeah, she didn't talk at all. And then that's a part that I think might have lasted a little bit too long. And then when she went with Immortan Joe, then that's when I thought it picked up, and I didn't see that as her being a kid too long, because it was as a wife, and then as a regular worker, and then as on the rigs.
I was really, really surprised that Chris Hemsworth gave her away so easily, when they were trading, because I thought the way this movie was going to work, he was sort of going to be like, this is my new daughter. I'm gonna do everything that I can to like treat her right. Even though I kill her mom, she's gonna grow up to love me sort of as a stepfather. So the movie was gonna become like, hey, I'll give you the chance to kill me if you do things for me, and then every once in a while, like we'll fight each other, and if you kill me, you can have your revenge. If you don't, you gotta continue to like do what I say. But it didn't go that route, man. And so I was kind of like, man, I was really shocked when he was just like, all right, go with him. You know, you're his now.
But I'm glad, Carlos, because you're explaining like the story of a couple other like anime or movies that we've seen where it is like the bad master,
Vinland Saga, more specifically,
the master who doesn't want like their student or their person they're all of a sudden in charge of, and it's like I don't know. It was I was kind of nervous about that relationship. I did not enjoy her being in Immortan Joe's like place in the freaking Citadel because anything that it's always like a little rapey, especially with kids, always like obviously it's a general turnoff, but like it still makes me cringe. So like those scenes where the freaking son, the bald dude, and that whole interaction with her, like yes, of course,
Fortis and Rectus.
Oh my
god.
We'll get back to that real quick. But yeah, like I always say, like I love that they showed how like that was a growing lesson for her, how she ended up like making that wig and escaping.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome character development. I just hate those scenes. I'm always like it's a thing in this weird society because it's a bunch of dudes, they're all crazy, but we don't need to like see it so much. But no, like I love the idea of the brothers because it's so with this like whole Mad Max like post-apocalyptic society, the whole idea that you have this like world where no longer are like the future of humanity like perfect specimens, like most of them are like half humans because they're all like post this point of like being healthy. Like it's crazy.
They're
it's like you have these
malnourished and deformed and all sorts of issues.
But you have the beautiful women, like the ones who clearly they're using to like be the breeders, and it's like I don't know, like we've seen it in a lot of movies when you have just like your women's society that's right and always like better, and then all the dudes are just like scrumptious and silly dudes.
No, they were wearing masks though, like they couldn't breathe, or
some of them. Yeah, okay. They have a long range of like defects, like from person to person. So it's kind of weird. Like in Fury Road, you'll see that there's more people with like different attachments, all kinds of different stuff.
Okay.
But
prosthetics and the sort. So it probably gets worse.
Not the War Boys. The War Boys are cool. They're just like the suicidal, like kamikaze dudes. They're like,
what did you think about that? The fact that they always spray themselves before committing.
Chrome.
Yeah, I saw it the first time when our Chris Hemsworth just got to the Citadel, was it?
Yeah.
And he like pulled up those two sticks and he went down. I'm like, oh, is he gonna fight someone? And he just blasted right to the ground. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
Yeah, those guys are just sort of trained or chosen to be like do anything. I guess their whole thing is to go to they sort of follow
Valhalla.
But yeah, Valhalla, they sort of follow that mythology. Yeah, so it's just kind of cool to understand that and see them do that.
And then the whole witness me.
Yeah, witness.
And you'll see a lot more of that in Fury Road too.
Which is what's good about this movie too, that it doesn't have a lot of those elements that you do get in other movies. So you don't feel like you're just watching like even though it is like a long movie, you don't get a lot of the same elements. Like in this one, they don't play as huge a part, but I do like that they have those types. Yeah, they have those types of parts where they do demonstrate how crazy they are and how devoted they are to Immortan Joe. And so that whole idea is like, especially when you're following, like at this point, Chris Hemsworth, like Dementus, right? He's an inspiring bad guy, want to be a dictator, want to rule this like beautiful place. And that's what he has to deal with. Like he goes in there with this crazy spectacle. I love that they have a choreographed like takeover routine where they're like revving their freaking engines at unison.
So
and
dumb, yeah.
And then ultimately you have freaking Immortan Joe just fucking showing off his like dudes who are willing to do anything for him. Like it's definitely a freaking dick measuring company.
Yeah.
You need it in this type of movies because they're already obsessed with their cars and fuel. Right?
So something, Sylvia, so us three or anybody that has seen Fury Road that went into this movie, we were all sort of wondering like when is the scene gonna happen where Furiosa loses her arm, because that's a big part of the Fury Road. She doesn't have an arm. So obviously in this one she has two arms. Were you at all surprised when that happened?
At first I was like, how did she even do that, to be honest? Like, I know that she broke it between the cars when, they were doing whatever she was trying to get away from him. But then she was just hanging her up, and did she chew it off? My first thought was
She must have cut it off herself.
Well, her other arm was free. She was just dangling
Oh
there.
yeah. I was shocked. It's just like he brought it up and it was just the arm. I'm like, I guess she wasn't going to use it anymore. But like, geez. And then
She memorized the map.
my right. No, my other thought was, how is she still alive? Like, wouldn't she be bleeding out if she just cuts her whole arm? And so then I'm thinking logistically, like, can you just cut off an arm and walk?
Yeah, you got a tourniquet right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting for it because, there's a very funny movie that's called Hot Tub Time Machine.
I got you.
It's really
Hot Tub
Time Machine. It's really
way
funny.
Different type of movie.
Yeah, way different type of
different.
movie. But in that movie, there's a guy in the current president that's missing an arm. So when they go back in time, he has two arms. So the whole movie is like, well, when is it going to happen? And they play with that idea so much, and it's so annoying. Fury Road sort of reminded me of that, because I was just like, when is it going to happen? Like, when is this it? Is this it? And it just, I wasn't disappointed, though, when it happened.
No, and I love more seriousness. Like, I do love two things about that whole scene. It's like, one is when she's with the other guy with freaking Jack, right? That was his name? The other...
Jack.
Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, so that they were basically creating this romance, and to me that was like a great point that she doesn't want to sit there watch this man that she now just recently fell in love with, or at least like got super attached to, get dragged around in circles and circles, that she's so willing to like kind of cut off her arm or freaking whatever she did to escape. It was a beautiful like the symbolism and everything was great. But then what I really enjoyed was the fact that she did have the map on the same arm that got cut off, because that detail we didn't know from Fury Road. Like, we knew that there was, I didn't know there was anything on that arm before, but in this movie it was great to know that she had this map that was ultimately going to lead her back to her like utopian home.
Place, yeah.
And then the second that she got that ripped off, I'm like, is that why she's
never going back?
Yeah, like And yes, if you see Fury Road you have an idea what happens, but it's the same idea that you still know, you're wondering why it never happened the way that she wanted it. It's because she lost the map. And then I feel like since that point she lost a little bit of herself, because after that point she became even more vengeful. She wasn't really trying to get home anymore. She was just like, I'm gonna frick these guys up, like all of them. Like, I'm just gonna it's down. Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a little too ahead, but I did like how she stole the cart from the two brothers with they were fighting. Yeah.
I'll be honest, that whole movie, the moment Jack came in, I kept saying from the moment I saw him, I'm like, we're gonna love Jack. We're gonna love Jack. And the whole time he was the perfect. He knew who she was, right? The moment he saw her hair, it like prompted his memory.
No,
he kind of remembered. No,
he didn't know. Like, he never really knew her like
when
that.
else did they meet each other? Just when she was fixing the truck, right? Like, he saw her from like a distance.
I think it was more a reveal that she was a woman, because to this point he didn't know that she was a woman.
I
gotcha.
On the drive back, I told my wife that that's another thing that I sort of expected. I expected him to betray her, just because, like in this world, I think everybody's sort of looking out for themselves, and, there was never really any backstory to him. So I was thinking maybe he has a family or something that we don't know about. So he's purposely knows that this girl is hiding something. So I really thought it was going in a way where, he would betray her, and then that's how she would become the person that we'd see in Fury Road. But I guess that didn't happen. I'm glad it didn't. Yeah, and that's how she could have lost an arm too. Yeah.
No, even when Chris was trying to talk to her at one point, or Dementus, when he like went to say that they needed more food or whatever, he immediately cut his like line of him viewing her in the car, and he said, "You can talk to me. You don't have to talk to her." And that the moment he did that, I was like, "That's someone you can trust. He's 100% not going to sell her out on anything."
I mean, that's the character that he became. He was like kind of like a watcher over her, but at the same time, it was like a very like, oh, I respect you relationship, and like I believe in you, and whatever your goal is, I will be here to help you as long as right now you're helping me out. And it was kind of good. I mean, I didn't expect a love story, or at least not with him. But I'm glad that it was someone that wasn't going to survive into the next movie, or that it was going to be someone that we're hoping to see later. I'm okay with him being like in and out, so to speak, like show, like kind of reminding her that she can love again, and then all of a sudden taking that away from her. That's fucked up. So it just gives her more reason to be more pissed off. And
I kind of like the fact that we don't necessarily know for a long time whether it's like romantic, or if it's like more like platonic, and more like her mentor, or like what it is exactly for a large part of it. which is rare because they automatically go to romantic typically.
I think part of the reason
Yeah.
for that is because I never know how old Anya Taylor is supposed to be. You know,
Yeah.
like we get an idea because obviously in Fury Road it's going to be spoilers, Sylvia, but it's going to be Charlize Theron playing her.
Mm.
So you know, obviously when you see
Who
her,
was
you
in her
get,
like late 40s, early 50s, even though
Yes.
she looks like hella good.
She looks amazing, yeah.
yeah. So when you see Anya Taylor, you're sort of under the impression that okay, this is her maybe when she's 17, 19,
It's
but I guess by
not.
the end of the movie it's not. So it's just
Not.
like okay, then I
Yeah.
guess that's on me for thinking that.
Another little like beautiful moment talking about Jack was like when you did find out it was a romantic thing, and the only reason why it mattered was because kind of foreshadowing was when she shared with him the freaking apricot pit, like the seed. That was a beautiful moment because remember she shares it with him, and they have like this like weird like not like a for the ceremonial type of thing, but they're both like kind of bumping heads and they're like
Yeah.
holding the seed, and it's just kind of showing the whole future of humanity, and there's a possibility of like, you know, not dumb necessarily, but the seed itself is like the rebirth of humanity. And I don't know, to me I'm like, it's cheesy, I love it, bring
In their hands, we got the
yes,
whole
yeah,
Did
and
you
then we
guys
drag him around until he dies, so it's okay.
were you guys thinking it was like so crazy that Hemsworth went to such like far distance to like get these two people from like escaping? Were you guys like did you guys have a problem with that? Because once the movie was over, or like later on, I kind of like to myself, I'm like, oh, I understand why he did that. But were you guys like, why is he so thirsty for chasing these two characters? No.
Nah.
I thought it was more because they knew that he had taken the bullet farm, and
Yeah,
he didn't want them to
exactly.
go back to.
Exactly. Yes. 100%.
So
Yeah.
so that's how I took it. I was like, oh, like, he's not gonna allow them to escape.
Yeah. 'cause at
so
first I was like, dude, like I'm like, let it go. Like you don't have to get these two people.
Let
But
it
yeah, that's
go.
obviously
Let it go.
you realize that's the reason why, Ro, because he doesn't want them to tell the plan, which obviously that screws him up at the end.
But at the same time, he's fucking upset that two single people like wrecked that whole part of the plan. And I think that was another thing too. You
The
saw
day
him
he
lose a
took
little
it.
bit, for control, and like he was probably like, yes, of course, there was a benefit to stopping them, but I think he was enraged with like, fuckers, come back, like, what?
Yeah.
You're gonna pay
He was
for
being
this.
prideful.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
yeah.
No, not Dementus.
That
Nah.
shot when he's almost falling and all the bullets are like hitting him, such a good shot, man. Like I really enjoy that part, even though I've seen it in the trailer, but I thought it was really well done. Yeah.
Same like the scene when the freaking explosion behind her and she's at the gate and all the fire is just like flying past her. Like that's another great shot that I'm like trailer shot.
So Sylvia, without looking it up, I'm gonna tell you two movies, and man, I wish I had a third one. But you know, the director of this movie, you might be surprised by what other movies he has directed. So you know, I'll give you two, and if you guys can come up with another one, let me know. But Babe, Pig in the City.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I think Oscar winner, Oscar nominated, Happy Feet.
yeah,
Oh,
that too.
wow.
Yeah, and then I don't know if there's any other one. I think they all have been Mad Max movies.
Mad Max, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny that
that's
this
insane.
guy that creates such a crazy apocalyptic world is also responsible for Happy Feet and
Well,
Babe.
so was
Pig in the
Happy
City.
Feet.
Yeah.
So was Happy Feet. You just don't know it because they were always in the Arctic. So everybody was dead already. It was just, you know, this was Australia. That was like the freaking North Pole or South Pole, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like they're coming out with more apocalyptic movies again. You know how we hit that phase at one point, and I think it's finally coming back where they might be redoing.
So yeah, I guess we haven't talked to you enough. So I don't know how you feel about this, but like, do you like that? Because to me, I love post-apocalyptic movies because of the scary reality that's like could be a possibility in a near future.
Especially the ones that are about nuclear war. Love those.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like when they make it like a 17-year-old or an 18-year-old is like now this main lead who's going
you're
to...
talking about like, those the books.
Those I don't like. But
Maze Runner kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Divergent type of,
That's what you got to watch, like the actual Mad Max ones, and watch Fury Road. But the whole idea of someone that actually went through the actual bombing or like the war period, then carries a whole lot of weight into going into this Fallout future. Like I don't know, I just love them. But like you said, they are kind of scary just for that idea, and maybe that's where they're coming more out, like trying to scare people into like, hey, this could be your future if you don't stop like.
Or get us used to the thought. I feel like now a lot of people are just kind of just nonchalant about it. Like, yeah, it could, but
I mean, one of the things that I mentioned in the beginning is like the box office. Like Sylvia, like I don't know how often you go to the movies. I used to go all the time. Now I just rarely go unless it's a big movie. But I mean, are we done with movies, friend? Do you feel like just based on the performance of this movie? Like, honestly, I looked at the schedule for the next 4 weeks, and the only movie that I'm going to go see is obviously Wolverine and Deadpool. Not because it's a superhero movie, just because I think it's going to be a really good
It'll be
time.
fun.
But it's just like, man, like if
Take it
this
the
movie
popcorn
couldn't,
bucket.
yeah, like if this movie couldn't, oh my god, the popcorn bucket. But if this movie couldn't get people in their butts, like I don't know what will. I don't know what.
You need Zendaya in a movie, and then people will immediately flock to watch it.
I want to see that Challengers movie.
Yeah,
the moment that becomes available somewhere, like I want to see Challengers.
Yeah.
I just I keep thinking like a movie like this should have done the trick, but I think what's really happening is like, dude, theaters are so expensive. Like
it is.
Let alone the movie, because like we do IMAX often, right? IMAX is like $18 a person, like just a person, $18. So then that's already like $40 with tax, like 45, almost 50 before you even start thinking about popcorn and all that stuff. So to me, you're telling me that like, how do you want people to go to the movie theaters if you're just charging so freaking much? I have to say like, oh well, this is gonna be my actual date night, or maybe I won't eat for a week, or like I don't know. Even the matinee movie that I went to see,
I won't buy my insulin.
I won't buy my insulin. I won't shave my head this week to shave on razors. Anyways, but like no, like dude, even the matinee like viewing at 11 a.m. cost me like $12, and not terrible. But then again, if you want to buy like just something to kind of fill you up, it still ends up being like 30 or 40. So I think that's what's hurting these movies, that right now people don't have money.
Town. They're like $5
and get shot.
No, it's the ghetto movie theater.
By a 14-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Nope.
No. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I mean, I paid $60. That's all I was gonna say, and that was for 3 people. So yeah, Ramon, I'm like right behind you.
Dang.
See, my first thought to watch the movie $6. Oh, 60?
60, yeah.
What did you get?
No, it's just like Ramon said, when you buy 2 tickets, it's $42, and then my sister-in-law came with us, so that was another $20+. It's expensive because I mean, I know kids nowadays make more money in working at the ice cream shop, but it's still a lot of money.
So I went to, we call it like the richer part of like the county that I'm in. The tickets only cost me $11. So
okay.
I paid $8 a ticket, but it was an IMAX.
I think mine was 11 IMAX, and then I got popcorn, and then they had their specialty drinks there too, which the drinks cost more than the actual ticket.
Yeah, we need to move to Michigan.
I was looking at houses in Michigan just to see the taxes, because in
6%.
Illinois, where we're from, like they just put everybody's taxes like way up, and I'm like, dude, do you guys not want me to eat? Like, what's going on here?
That's the sad part with
eating's overrated.
That's the first thing that I give up. So it goes to tell you, but no, like I mean, that's what I'm saying. So that has to be it, because this movie, again, you're not gonna do it as like great justice if you don't go see it in a movie theater, because of just how like how immersed the world is, and it's beautiful to be there with the freaking giant ass sandstorm like threatening your existence, even though you're watching a movie. But it's, I don't know, like I that's something that you can't force people to go watch.
Because dude, I'm telling you right now, you're telling me like, hey, Mad Max gonna come out. The people that saw this movie in the when it came out with Mel Gibson in the 80s, like they're gonna want to see this. The people that saw Fury Road in 2015 and loved it, they're gonna want to see this. People that
that's a lot of people.
Chris Hemsworth, Anya Taylor. People like great reviews, like it's an action movie, it looks great, and it's just like, again, they didn't make the money. So I am really hopeful that maybe, because nothing else really great is coming up in the next, besides maybe Inside Out too. Like I'm really hopeful that this movie continues to like make money. Like I'm really, really hopeful.
So I think that this movie is going to be kind of like slow burn. That's just going to be in theaters for a long time, because people are going to gradually be going, because it does have really great reviews by pretty much everyone. So I think everyone's going to like slowly go out to see it, kind of how they did with like some of the other movies, like the Quiet Place and stuff like that.
I do think Memorial Day weekend, even though they've said like in the past like some movies have been very successful, I do think it's a bad time to release a movie, just because we live in the Midwest. We've just dealt with like a bunch of like winter and still cold, and it's finally getting hot.
We're out on the boat.
Yeah, and it just got hot. This weekend was a great weekend. On Sunday, I believe, one day it would rain. But anyways, like I don't want to go to the movie theater. I want to be outside. Like I want to enjoy the summer. So I just think it's a it's a bad timing for a movie. Memorial Day.
I mean, like I told you, I immediately wanted to stream the movie until I started freaking out, realizing I couldn't stream the movie. It's just more convenient.
How would you have streamed it if it just came out? Were you doing it like through the bad ways, or were you thinking you could just pay for it?
I thought it was going to be available to stream, and then I realized it wasn't, and that's when I started to panic.
So that's another problem.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, are you one of those that you almost sometimes prefer it to just go straight to streaming? Because I was like that for like
it's more convenient. I don't have to like get out of the house. I look, I love people and I hate people. I don't want to be around people that often. So if I can just watch it at my own house, I'm going to prefer that over going somewhere and driving and wasting gas. I mean, that's already a cost in itself too.
You know, for Ramon, somebody that works in retail and obviously sees people it's like he will dodge bullets to not see his friends. Like he will he will dodge them like with any excuse. With me, I act like I want to do things, but once I'm like actually doing them, I'm like, why am I here?
Now, what you're saying is that I have an easier excuse because I'm not the only one, and I believe me, working retail just makes you want to not be around people. But I think that's part of the reason why, like, you know, you see a different side of like, oh, it's Memorial Day, like, people should be, like you said, at home, relaxing. No, people are fucking shopping. Like, why? Like, why are you shopping? Like, go watch the movie with those money. Believe me, you'll have a better time than. Well, I mean, I guess, but still.
When shopping, yeah.
And I think Raul just loves people in general. Like, he will be with people if he could. I mean, during COVID, he was the one coming to your house like every other week.
I was a super spreader. No, I'm kidding. No.
So talking about
I really wasn't. I'm very pro science, so
he was like those kids that had chicken pox before. They would just put all the kids in a room so everyone got chicken pox. It was their vaccination. That was Raul. He was just walking around giving everyone COVID.
Yeah.
So in this type of world, Raul, would you be that like scientist dude, the organic mechanic?
No, I'd be the historian.
You'd be the historian? Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was kind of cool. It's an easy job. Yeah.
Yeah. He seems to know a lot of stuff that we don't.
Yeah, you get fed. you know, they take you in a cage.
It's like cheating. You just write down the answers, and then anytime you forget, you're like, oh, look, this happened like a few years ago.
Yeah.
By the way, Memorial Day weekend last year, John Wick came out, the Little Mermaid came out, and a bunch of other stuff that didn't really do very well. But
I'm calling the John Wick one BS because I remember
just kidding. That's
you guys in March.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
That was in March.
I don't know when movies come out.
Yeah, I remember John Wick because of that freaking dragon spread.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Little Mermaid came out and made 118 million.
Me and Ramon saw the Little Mermaid, not together, but we saw it.
Yeah, I like the Little Mermaid.
We did an episode on it.
Yeah. I saw it way later.
I'm excited.
We were
for
very
Mufasa.
positive on Ariel, by the way, Sylvia.
Yes, we love Ariel, but I'm excited for Mufasa. That's a kind of
that's when that's coming out.
You know, I wanted to ask
animated movie.
No. Live action. Come on, man.
How do you guys feel about the Beetlejuice sequel now that there's been a trailer? Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I love Beetlejuice.
I'm excited about it. I think it's a little too much on the head having Jenny Ortega be the girl because she's pretty much.
Are you tired of her already?
No. Okay. It's just very typical. It's too unsurprising.
She's perfect for those roles, though. She has the features.
But that's how those movies flow. Like, you find an actor that kind of fits well in those, like, especially like in Tim Burton's worlds. And you have a lot of like characters and actors that follow, and then they stick with those movies.
Johnny Depp.
She did Wednesday. How did you not expect her to be in like Beetlejuice? Yeah. It just makes so much sense.
Which is why I said it was a little too much on the head.
I know, but that's a good thing. With this, because as long as Winona Ryder's still in it, that's all I care about.
She is.
Michael Keaton,
I love her. So.
Yeah. See, the problem with me in that trailer is that a lot of the jokes were the same jokes from the original, and I'm like, why are you guys redoing the same jokes? Like, why can't you come up with like new material? And you know, I'm excited for the fact that a lot of things are going to be practical in it, but I still just nervous about the fact that, again, some of the jokes in the trailer, I don't know if they were trying to like hit you with those jokes, like, oh yeah, I remember this movie, but to me, that's a red flag. Like, it's just when I see that's a red flag.
Hopefully it's not a lot of it. Hopefully it was just for the trailers and like not like the whole movie. Just like callbacks and things like that.
Is it Tim Burton again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen the first one, Sylvia? Beetlejuice? No. Okay.
Like the OG Beetlejuice? Wait, OG? Oh, yes, I have. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a few years back, but I did. I'll write it down and scribble it out.
Just don't write it 3 times though.
Oh yeah, no.
So you might be like compelled to say it out loud, and you know what happens. So.
No, I mean, I mean, I have high expectations 'cause I want it to be good, but sometimes when you want something to be good, The Flash, it's not good.
My God.
Yeah, so
It wasn't bad though. It was.
where are you with superheroes? I think that's another thing that we really haven't talked to you about. Like, are you very pro superhero movies? Not like how are you?
Yes and no. I haven't watched them in a few years. I used to be really into them, but I think the last one I saw was back in college, and that was like Superwoman, I think, and it didn't do very well.
Yeah,
And I think I stopped.
watching them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wonder Woman
No.
or
Maybe it was Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman.
Was it the second one or the first one?
It would have been the first.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's I mean, everybody kind of will tell you this, but after like the Marvel Avengers, the last one,
Endgame.
you know, Endgame, it's been a little bit rocky for.
Well, it's really Spider-Man. Spider-Man was still
Spider-Man was good. Yeah.
I will say I was always more on the X-Men track of things versus superheroes. So
I love X-Men.
I mean, again, I think we'll all see Deadpool in July, and really, there's nothing that you need to know before you see that movie, other than the other Deadpool movies.
Probably
maybe
watch
that's one.
one.
Yeah.
I have watched Deadpool.
Oh, there you go.
No.
You
Don't
like
even need to jot that one down. Yeah.
like
I
Ryan
love
Reynolds?
it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's an amazing
Does it,
actor.
yep.
Yeah.
Sure, that's what compels you. I'm like, Van Wilder all the way. Let's go.
Well, actually, that's what I wanted to say. So, Chris Hemsworth in this movie, I actually put him above Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor.
Oh,
From seeing him being able to like switch roles that well, and I couldn't recognize him at all. I feel like when I see Leo, it's like I can kind of gauge where his acting will be. I had no clue with him.
I love that.
Can I ask you a question? Is this coming because he's dating a 19-year-old currently? Is that pissing you off? Like, is that where the hate's coming?
I didn't even know he was.
He doesn't date anybody above 25. As soon as you turn 26 or whatever, he breaks up with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's kind of getting like really bad about it.
Well, now
because he keeps getting older.
Yeah. I like that you said that though. I mean, yeah, like honestly, this role for Chris Hemsworth, like I told you, it's probably one of his deepest, most complex ones. But I kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say like the Joker or something like that. But it's just like it's that very serious role that you get into and you deep dive and I don't know, just fucking play it out.
No,
like,
I love that. I love that you really enjoyed him as an actor in this movie because I feel like there's other good stuff that he's been in, and he's probably gonna be in better movies.
The one with Dakota Johnson.
Or the Ghostbusters movie.
Is that one I need to put down?
No.
I like it. I thought it was a good movie though.
Yeah.
No.
I think sometimes when you think of Chris Hemsworth, it really Thor Ragnarok was probably his best,
his
movie.
peak.
Yeah, that's his peak.
And then I think of Liam Hemsworth, and I mostly just saw him in like The Last Song, and I know he's the new Witcher, so I think I kept grouping him into that like little like rom-com, like whatever, and then being a hero. Yeah, and then seeing him in this one, I sat there for a little bit thinking he's a really good actor. Like he's genuinely very, very good.
Wrong, brother.
Since on the last episode, I kind of gave you some homework, but you were supposed to tell us what movie we're going to talk about next week, and I'm still hoping it's not The Pacifier, but by any chance did you think about that?
I was thinking of a movie that is very near and dear to me a little bit. I don't know if you guys have seen it though, or if you guys have reviewed it. I kind of tried looking over, but I'm not sure. It's Goodfellas.
Oh,
okay.
No.
No, we have not talked about
Why
it.
are you doing this? Why are you doing
I
this?
love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, I'm actually, Oh,
That's
no.
a horror. It's been a couple years.
So that's one of the movies I've seen like multiple times, and I don't rewatch movies unless it's for this.
I just got chills thinking.
I saw all of your guys' faces just reacting. At first, you were like, "Oh no, what is she gonna say?"
Well,
I mean,
we are guys, and it's Goodfellas, so.
Yeah,
it's been one of my favorite movies. I watched it with my dad, and then it was a recommendation from a friend too. And I barely remembered it when they had recommended it to me. So then rewatching it, and now it's just one that I hold near and dear.
I'm excited. That's awesome. Great choice. Yeah, no, I mean we'll talk about that one, and then guys, we'll have to huddle up and come up with a schedule for June. But all right, man, it's just this has been fun. I had a lot of fun this episode.
Yeah, and I guess now we're gonna be forced to rewatch Goodfellas.
I'm so
grainy and old looking, and
I'm so sorry, guys. I'll pick a better movie next time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace.
Adios.
All right.